Imagine this scenario. So you're just back from holidays, it's the start of the year, and everything is back to normal. So you're back at work, you're trying to get ready in the mornings, you're trying to get the kids to school, school has started, you're running around, you've got this massive to-do list, and then you come home at the end of the day and you're absolutely exhausted, or your heart might be racing and you can't eat properly, maybe you can't sleep very well, or guess what? That is stress. My name is Annemarie and I'm actually a psychologist. And this is my first YouTube video, so welcome. I'm here to talk about stress because it's something I feel really passionate about. Both in my clinical practice, but also in my own life, I've experienced stress, well, pretty much every day. So my work is to help people manage stress more, I suppose, sustainably. And that's pretty tricky though. But managing stress is actually not rocket science. So I'm here today to give you 3 simple ways to firstly notice what your stress levels are like, and then to find ways to actually manage your stress. Should we get into it? Let's do it. A lot of the time I get asked, well, but hang on, Annemarie, what do you do as a psychologist? Why do you even get stressed?
Is that a joke? No.
Well, the thing is that as psychologists, we are just people like everyone else, and we get stressed too. So what I find is really helpful is to recognize what your body actually needs. Do you sometimes find that when you're tired and you're feeling exhausted, all you want to do is have a lie down or a nap, or perhaps go to bed earlier? And how often do you actually do that? You might find that instead you have another coffee, or you might have an energy drink, or you do something to get your energy levels up. But what about if we actually checked in with our body's needs a bit more closely and maybe had a bit of rest, even just for 5 or 6 minutes? Or, when you're fast and you're just rushing, what about if you allowed yourself just a short amount of time to wind down? So that would be my tip number 1. Check in with what your body needs and meet those needs. Tip number 2. Do you often find that you take on even more things? Like your boss might ask you to do yet another task, or a friend invites you to this really cool event and you'd love to go, but you also know that it's pretty busy at work at the moment and you really don't have the energy. Like your social battery is pretty empty. But what do you say? You probably say yes, because you might be worried that you won't get invited to these cool things anymore, or you might worry that saying no might impact your career or your work, or that you upset people or disappoint people. Why don't you try saying no? Or in German, nein danke. This is something I really had to practice. I'm quite a people pleaser, and I often want to make sure that I make everyone happy. So I tend to say yes instead of no. So tip number 2, say no more often. And here's my tip number 3. So again, a lot of the time we might want to do something, but we do something else instead. So you might really feel like taking a break, or on the weekend you might really feel like starting to read this book that's been sitting on your bedside table forever and ever. But then when you actually do get to sit down, there might be all of these thoughts happening around, oh, but I should really be cleaning the kitchen, or I should be doing something productive. Really? What if you actually allowed yourself to do the things that you really want to do? Of course, in moderation. Say you feel like online gaming or playing the PlayStation. Why don't you do that, rather than spending hours ruminating and pondering whether you should allow yourself to do what you really enjoy? So, tip number 3, check in what you enjoy and do more of that. So, these are really just some very basic ideas on checking in with your body and mind's needs and living a little bit more easily maybe. Let me know what you think. I'd really love to hear how these ideas work for you. And if you want to hear more about my content as a psychologist, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for your attention and your time today, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.